See you. First up, we've got NVIDIA rallying above a key level today and extending a 4-day win streak, up nearly 20% this week. Your trade on that beloved stock.
On that beloved stock, Tyler, I'm going to tell you to buy it cautiously. If you don't own it, you've got to wade into that water. This is the hottest area of the market. As long as the race for AI and this battle to continue to create AI continues, this stock's going to do well. They're still looking for like 40% growth in earnings from this company over the next 5 years. It's gone from 48 times earnings, 2024 earnings, to 34 times next year, and coming down with this large earnings growth. So it's performed beautifully well. It's a cyclical area. It probably has a few years left, but the AI impetus that's driving those earnings, I think, can take this stock higher, even at a $3 trillion market cap.
So if you want to establish a position, this is a dollar cost average in.
I think so. I mean, this is, if you have a blank in this space, I would want to have a position. It doesn't have to be a full position, and it has to be in keeping with your investment discipline and philosophy. So it can't be an appropriate risk for your portfolio. Check with your advisor.
In a world where technology evolves at the speed of light, one name has risen to the forefront of investor conversations: NVIDIA. With its groundbreaking advancements in artificial intelligence, the company is drawing remarkable attention, particularly as it gears up to announce its quarterly earnings later this month. Dan Ives, a seasoned technology analyst at Wedbush Securities, recently captivated audiences with his prediction that AI represents the fourth industrial revolution. His comments have sparked intrigue across the financial sphere, heralding what might be one of the most significant earnings calls of our time. Without a doubt, NVIDIA is positioned as a key player in this seismic shift, prompting investors to get the popcorn out and pay close attention. So let's take a deep dive in Ives's words. But before we do that, if you want to keep up with NVIDIA's latest updates and keep up with the stock market's latest news, you can follow our Twitter account. We post multiple times daily about the biggest changes and catalysts in the market, so click the follow button if you don't want to miss the newest market updates. Now, back to today's video.
Another batch of positive economic data helping drive another day of gains for stocks. For more on the markets, we're joined by Aaron Brown, PIMCO Portfolio Manager. Aaron, it is fantastic to see you. Thanks for being here. So let's talk about this now comeback of optimism to the market here. Do you still expect some volatility going forward, or does it feel like things have sort of stabilized?
I think for the very short term, things have stabilized. We've gotten a slew of data that's been better than expected, particularly after the payroll print, which really sent market into the downward price action that we saw. Since then, the data that's come out has all been suggestive of the fact that the economy is growing but slowing, and that the Fed is on pace to cut rates starting in September at a quarterly pace of 25 basis points. We probably get 3 cuts this year and another 4 next year. All of that said, I think as we move into the fall, particularly as we move closer to the election, there is going to be more bouts of volatility. I would say that as an investor, I would fade those bouts of volatility unless we start to see the economy really sliding towards a recession. But for now, the economy seems to be on track to a slowing trend, but still very much in positive territory.
Dan Ives, speaking with BNN Bloomberg, shared an impassioned perspective on what he deems an epochal moment in tech history. According to Ives, the dissemination of AI technologies is not just a trend, but a fundamental shift that will continue to propel tech stocks upward, with megacaps like NVIDIA taking the lead. Ives affectionately dubbed it the Super Bowl, the Olympics, from an earnings perspective, underlining the monumental importance of NVIDIA's upcoming earnings report, scheduled for August 28th. The best barometer, he called it, for the trajectory of tech stocks. This says a lot, particularly coming from a veteran analyst like Ives, who has seen his fair share of market ebbs and flows. For a shifting tech landscape that often feels reminiscent of a chaotic roller coaster ride, NVIDIA's forthcoming earnings could offer a rare moment of clarity and direction. Ives expects strong earnings results that will reflect robust demand indicators. This is probably the most important earnings call and conference call in the last few years, because of where we are as a market needing to get the barometers, he emphasized, and there's substantial reason to believe him. The meteoric rise in AI technology isn't a flash in the pan, but rather a well-supported surge driven by robust, intrinsic demand. As Ives mentioned, NVIDIA's current order flow reflects genuine market appetite rather than speculative double ordering. In his interview, Ives dispelled concerns of an impending bubble similar to the dot-com crash of the late 90s, asserting that today's AI stocks are bolstered by solid fundamentals. We're not talking about startups in terms of that environment where everything's kind of in the future, Ives stated. He noted that major tech companies together hold over $1 trillion on their balance sheets, providing a strong financial bedrock that adds weight to his bullish outlook. For those fearing a repeat of the dot-com saga, this is a refreshing counterpoint. It's not just about dreams and potential anymore. It's about tangible advancements, real profits, and big players with deep pockets. NVIDIA's central role in this AI revolution can't be overstated. The company's GPUs have become the backbone of AI computing. When you consider the scope of their applications, ranging from self-driving cars to medical diagnostics, it's clear why NVIDIA is under the spotlight. The company has already made significant investments in AI infrastructure, making it a prime beneficiary of this techno-tidal wave. Let's take a closer look at NVIDIA's performance and the buzz it has generated in the financial community. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Investocracy.
So one of the things I think we've heard about as investors have taken some profits in technology stocks, and certainly in stocks like NVIDIA, is they've heard from these other technology companies, the big ones that are actually spending a lot of money on NVIDIA chips, and they've had a lot of conference call questions about, is that spending going to pay off? Do you need to be doing all that spending? And it almost felt like all of a sudden people were like, oh gosh, the chip business is a cyclical one. And maybe NVIDIA with that big lead was ready to be first out the gate. But what if these other companies have to pull back on some of that spending? Is that going to impact NVIDIA? Is that going to impact the stock? How are you thinking about that?
I mean, we just got back from Asia, and we'll be there again in the next few weeks. It's unlike anything I've seen in 25 years covering tech in terms of this fourth industrial revolution playing out. And look, they're the only game in town. AMD, Lisa Su, they'll also benefit here. But we're talking about $1 trillion of CapEx that's going to be spent in AI. And I think fighting that is just a tough battle, especially in a soft landing environment, where we think tech stocks continue to move higher, including NVIDIA.
According to recent financial data, NVIDIA's stock price has surged over 200% since the beginning of the AI boom. The growth isn't just on paper. The company has reported robust revenue increases quarter after quarter. Institutional investors have also taken note, with asset management giants like BlackRock and Vanguard increasing their stakes in NVIDIA by 15% and 12% respectively over the last fiscal year. In addition to earnings, NVIDIA's strategic moves have been noteworthy. The company recently acquired ARM Holdings for $40 billion, a purchase that is expected to dramatically bolster its AI capabilities. This merger is anticipated not just to expand NVIDIA's product portfolio, but also to secure its dominance in the next wave of AI advancements. And while we're talking about dominance, let's not ignore NVIDIA's principal competitors, AMD and Intel. AMD, once criticized for trailing NVIDIA, has ramped up its efforts in AI and GPUs. However, the market share still tilts heavily in NVIDIA's favor. Intel, on the other hand, despite significant investments in AI, has struggled to match NVIDIA's rapid pace of innovation. Recent market analyses reveal that NVIDIA holds a commanding 84% share of the lucrative GPU market, leaving its competitors scrambling in its wake. To put it humorously yet factually, if the stock market were high school, NVIDIA would be the star quarterback dating the head cheerleader, while AMD and Intel are still trying out for the team. This level of dominance places NVIDIA in an enviable position, substantially mitigating the risks associated with technological disruptions or competitive pressures. Beyond hardware, NVIDIA's software side is also worth mentioning. The company's CUDA platform has become an industry standard for parallel computing, which plays an indispensable role in AI and machine learning. In an era where software often steals the spotlight, NVIDIA manages to shine brightly both in hardware and software, a dual advantage that positions it uniquely to capture and sustain market leadership. While Dan Ives backs his claims with compelling arguments and financial data, the true validation will come from the market's reaction post-earnings call. As the saying goes, the proof is in the pudding. And with NVIDIA, this is not just any pudding. It's a 5-layer gold leaf-topped delicacy that's compelling even the most skeptical of investors to take a taste. Moving beyond the financial jargon and market semantics, it's worth noting the sheer excitement enveloping this upcoming earnings call. It's not every day that an earnings report is compared to the Super Bowl, after all. While some might dismiss the hype as overstated, it's hard to ignore the ringing endorsements from experts like Ives and the palpable excitement among industry insiders. The breadcrumbs all lead to a singular conclusion. NVIDIA is at the vanguard of an enormous and imminent tech revolution. So, what does all this mean for potential investors? The answer is easy. But before going through it, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
One of the other areas that you like that I honestly have not heard people talk about a lot in a while is the Kospi, which is the Korean stock market. It hasn't done much this year, much of anything. So what do you think would change that?
Sure. So I think one of the things that's been holding back the Kospi is the fact that it is about 13% of the weight is in the EV sector. And we've seen that come under a lot of pressure over the last year or so, particularly over the last 6 months. However, the majority of the Kospi, about a third of it, is in the semiconductor chip sector that is very much levered to the AI theme. And historically, you actually see the Kospi trade pretty closely correlated with tech and with AI. It's decoupled over the last year and a half, but we think that that's likely unjustified. And I think that going forward, you're actually going to see an accelerated move to the upside in the Kospi, particularly now that we've seen a lot of these EV names get bottom out. And so it's a name that we think is cheap. They're doing a lot in terms of the value up proposition, in terms of corporate reform, which is not yet being rewarded by the market overall. And we think that there's a lot of potential for positive earnings momentum coming out of the Korean stocks, particularly out of the tech sector, which we think right now is very undervalued relative to how this tech sector is trading in the US.
Quite simply, NVIDIA represents a phenomenal opportunity. With its unparalleled positioning in the AI sector, robust financial health, and a string of strategic moves aimed at consolidating dominance, the company's future looks exceptionally bright. Current stock valuations, while seemingly lofty, are a reflection of investors' high confidence in NVIDIA's sustained growth trajectory. Market predictions suggest that if NVIDIA continues on its current path, its stock could see a rise of another 100% in the next 2 years. Analytics firms such as Goldman Sachs have projected an upward trend, bolstering this optimistic forecast. It's not just about near-term gains. NVIDIA's enduring impact on diverse industries, ranging from healthcare to automotive, presents a long-term growth story that could redefine investment portfolios. Share prices leading up to this month's earnings call have remained robust, creating an anticipatory buzz that only further substantiates Dan Ives's emphatic declarations. With NVIDIA's innovative prowess and market leadership, the company seems well poised to not just take part in, but lead this fourth industrial revolution. So, as the markets gear up for what could be a pivotal earnings call, the question remains, will you grab some popcorn and join the show? Understanding the financial and technological landscape makes the decision a bit more straightforward. Here's to NVIDIA then, potentially the next big thing, and perhaps a linchpin in your investment strategy. As this story unfolds, the excitement is almost tangible. Will NVIDIA live up to the hype? What role will AI play in reshaping industries across the globe? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share your opinions in the comments below. After all, in the world of investing, informed discussions are the bedrock of sound decisions. Happy investing! And finally, if you would like to know what companies like NVIDIA have been up to these past few days, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen. See you there!